Alright, we're going to look at mathematically sound way to convert units. Many times we try to convert units in our heads, and lots of times we're successful, but when you get into various sciences and mathematics or physics, those sorts of things, the conversions can be rather difficult, so you need a systematic way to do it. So that's what we're going to talk about now. The big thing is, if I wanted to ask you, for example, 12 feet equals how many inches? Well, you could probably tell me, well, there's 12 inches in every foot and there's 12 feet, so 12 times 12 is 144, so there are 144 inches here. Okay, there's no problem with that. This is a simple example, but let me illustrate how to do this using conversion factors. So the important thing about a conversion factor is it is basically a fraction that equals 1. And the other thing is the units on top and bottom are not the same. So we're comparing units that are not the same, but when you look at the fraction, it equals 1. So, for example, one conversion factor might be 1 minute divided by 60 seconds, right? 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. And when you divide two things that are equal to each other, like 5 divided by 5, two things that are equal to each other, you get 1. So 1 minute over 60 seconds is a conversion factor. Similarly, 60 seconds over 1 minute is a conversion factor. 1 foot over 12 inches is a conversion factor. So what's important is the thing on top equals the thing on bottom, right? And the units don't match. Alright, so those are what conversion factors are. Now let's use that to solve the problem we were given before. I'm starting with 12 feet, and anytime you have a measurement you could put it over 1 if you want, right? 5 is the same thing as 5 divided by 1, just because I know I'm going to use a conversion factor. So I'm going to multiply this by 1, and now this is where the conversion factor comes in. I have to choose the correct conversion factor. So I've got 12 feet over 1 times. Now my goal is to get rid of the feet. So when I multiply fractions and I want feet to cancel, in the second fraction, feet has to go on bottom. So you see how they'll cancel. And I need my new unit to be inches. So I'm going to put inches on top. So I'm looking for a conversion factor between between inches and feet. Well, I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. So now this is a conversion factor because it equals 1, and it's going to help us out because when I multiply it, feet are going to cancel, leaving just inches behind. So I simply multiply the numbers now. 12 times 12 is 144. Inches is my unit. On bottom, 1 times 1 is 1. So 144 inches over 1 is simply 144 inches. Alright, so this was a simple example. Let's try something harder. Okay, so I'm converting miles per hour to feet per minute. So this one's a bit different. 12 miles per hour can be written as 12 miles divided by 1 hour, right? Divided by means per, so 12 miles per 1 hour. So instead of just 1, I have a unit on the bottom now because I've got per hour. And I'm going to multiply that by a conversion factor. Now, let's try working on converting miles to feet first. If you're not aware, I'm going to have miles on bottom and feet on top so that miles will cancel and leave just feet. I'll fill in the numbers later. So now I've got feet per hour, right? Those are my units. Now I need to convert my hours to minutes. So to cancel hours, I need hours on top here because they need to cancel. So top and bottom cancel. That means I'm going to have minutes on bottom, and that's where I want my minutes anyway. It's on the bottom of the fraction. So hours and hours will cancel, and now I've got feet per minute. So I plug in the numbers, and then I multiply all the numbers together. Multiply and divide by 60.